Hi, welcome to Ocean Yemi's channel. I thought let me just try and tack down some stuff as free seems like. So this live is dedicated to Richard Currie. Richard Currie, he's the chief of the Maroons. I've spoken about him numbers of times, about the Abeng no, not the Abeng, about the Maroons town, because at one point Maroons town was under attack. Um, I've spoken about Richard Currie in a sense that him and Ellie Lewis did actually catch up at one point. Um, so I'm just gonna put this live out here on Richard Currie basically because he's really stepping up. And you know when someone is stepping up, you gotta give them a pat on the back. You gotta salute them. You gotta acknowledge them because he has been doing a lot of works. There's him. There's Queen Quaint. There's a lot of people that's been doing works on the outskirts, on the outside of the diaspora, or whatever. Hi, Chrissy. So I don't know whether anybody know, but he got what you call it uh he like they turned him into a paramount chief. The Bantu people came over from, I think he's from South Africa, and they made him paramount chief. Now I am gonna put a little bit of history into his works. I mean, I don't know if I've got all of them here, but if I haven't, I will just upload the last, or I just do it as one and two on the on the channel. L.A. Lewis was calling up Richard. Oh, he was? I need to go check him out, L.A. Lewis, actually. I need to go check him out. I haven't watched him in a while. I see he's doing some stuff as well. So he's another one I'm gonna take because I'm supposed to go deal with Waldemaya and Trudy. And I need to try and keep and do the other channel too, because I've noticed I give this side so much love and I don't I give the other side love but not as much. So I'm just gonna put up let me see. Let me see. Oops, nearly past it. I'm gonna show where the dignitaries came into Maroon Town. I can't remember what month or week it was, but they came there from Bantu land or South Africa. Please can you tell me, do you promise that you protect your spouse? So that's the dignitaries that came over to, make him the paramount chief. Now, I'm going to try and show him before he got to this point because he has been working so hard on his on Maroon Town. I'm gonna show him doing the interview before this time, before I get to the part where he was crowned a chief.
Colonel of the sovereign state of Akompong. A couple months back, I had done a video on Maroons, and I was in Moortown specifically, and now we're heading into Akompong. And who better to talk to us about Akompong than the future colonel himself? I'm speaking it into being, manifesting it. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Awesome. So, let's start with, who are the Maroons? I know a lot of persons hear the word, box around it all over the place. We don't really know. We know something have to do with British, we know something to do with Jamaican culture. But I feel like people don't really know. And especially from the last video that I did, I realized that people are really unaware of our history and our culture. So I would like to enlighten them. Like, who are the Maroons? Explain in your terms, who are the Maroons?
Well, let me start by saying there have been many interpretations as to who the Maroons are. And it has grounds within the period of slavery. And a lot of the takes that people, portray are also things they've gone onto the internet and pulled down from various sources, some of which, we're really not sure in terms of credibility.
I know Wikipedia sometimes have a story.
That's what I'm saying.
Many versions.
There are many versions to the story of the Maroons. But
yeah.
Who are the Maroons? The Maroons are a combination of Africans, indigenous Indians, and runaway slaves. Right? So it's a combination, because we have the Tainos who inhabited the island pre-Columbian period.
Yeah.
So we hear Christopher Columbus discovered Jamaica. You didn't hear who he found here. Right? The Taino Indians were here. And when the Spanish came to Jamaica, they brought the first set of slaves who were prisoners of war. Right? These were called the Moors. The Moors once ruled Europe. Right? They were powerful, mighty warriors. And when they were overcome by the Spanish, they launched the conquistador, which essentially moving to the west to find new territories, new lands. And essentially, when the Spanish came here, these first set of slaves, the Moors, were the ones who were working the fields, working the plantations.
They're called the Moors?
They're called the Moors, right? And it's a term used to describe these warriors. It wasn't essentially a race of people, right? But they were well advanced in various areas of navigation, warfare, architecture. These guys were very advanced. And the Moors were captured, taken here, and forced to work on the plantations. Now, when the British came and overthrew the Spanish, there was a war, and several of these plantations were demolished, and a lot of the slaves at the time, who were Moors, left and fled for the hills.
Yeah, so that's him giving his little interview at the time, and I'm gonna put this one up as well, because this gives a little bit of an insight into who he is. I think it's the first one, but if it's not, I will do the first and second one on the channel, because when I'm uploading, I'm trying to get it into chronicle order, but sometimes it might not come into chronicle order. But anyways, let me just do it.
Chief Richard Currie and the Rising of the Maroon Nation in Jamaica, by Daphne Ewing Chow. It's a bold and ambitious journey that I am about to embark upon, says Chief Richard Currie as he pauses pensively to take a sip of coffee. It has been less than 72 hours since his oath of office was taken as the youngest leader ever of Jamaica's Akompong Maroons, and the new colonel, age 40, enthusiastically shares his thoughts on the land, water, farming, and the birthright of his people. Outside the window, banana trees wave a warm Akompong welcome while flora bask in the cool mountain breeze. And somewhere, on a segment of this compound that I haven't seen, is a tank filled with rainwater and secondary catchment that the chief employs for domestic use. Chief Currie presides over 74,726 hectares of cockpit country, the largest remaining natural forest in Jamaica. This land is home to the Leeward Maroons, descendants of the West African slaves who fled harsh plantation conditions, and the indigenous Amerindians who they banded with, fighting colonists with guerrilla tactics, such as camouflage created with the tint of the heart-shaped cocoon bead that the chief is currently wearing around his neck, and the secret language of the abang, a type of bugle made out of a cow horn, used to blow coded messages. It was these tactics that eventually won the Maroons their freedom and their own sovereign lands. The sovereign state of Accompong is home to lush green hills, rivers, springs, streams and other natural water sources, unique biodiversity and crops that do not grow elsewhere in Jamaica. But despite being the source of 40% of Jamaica's fresh water supply, Cockpit country itself has no running water. The irony is mind-boggling. Our community is at least 50 years behind, says Currie of the monumental task of implementing the infrastructure to alleviate the water stress faced by the strong farming community and its citizens. 70% of Accompong's residents are subsistence farmers who grow crops such as yams, bananas, breadfruit, potatoes, ginger, turmeric, tomatoes, cabbage, callaloo and peppers, using traditional African farming techniques. Each household farms for itself and the extras are sold, but if there was a major crisis they would be in trouble. We are at risk because our systems haven't enabled us to have the infrastructure behind the agriculture, Currie explains. This is the only thing between us and total food security. Well, that and water. While the clay soil in Accompong is not ideal for many farmers, it effectively retains water during dry periods, and traditional techniques for digging and water storage have proven effective in the absence of infrastructure in the area. As a last resort, we literally haul water from water holes that are nearby, but with the proper planning and resources, all of this can be resolved, says Currie. The last estimate to run water into the community, received from the National Water Commission in Jamaica, was $1.2 million US. I have so much work to do but so little to do it with, says Currie of the cost to provide what the United Nations has deemed a basic human right, that elsewhere in Jamaica would be provided by the government as a public service. But Cockpit country is considered by the Maroons and by many of those in the wider community to be a sovereign nation within the nation of Jamaica. In 1739, a treaty that was signed by Maroon leader Cudjoe, under the leadership of British Governor Edward Trelawney, granted the Maroons land between Trelawney Town and Accompong in addition to political autonomy and economic freedoms, making the Maroons the first free black people in the Western Hemisphere. Maroons do not rely on the Jamaican government for food security, social welfare or infrastructure, and so the onus is on the new chief to develop his economy and build out systems and safety nets that had not been put in place by the previous administration. The Maroons were the catalysts of emancipation. We were the leaders of liberation. That's what we stand for, he says. Our treaty is built on sustainability and perpetuity, and our only path to development is through economics and commerce built on those same principles. Currie, who holds a degree in banking and finance from the Mona School of Business at the University of the West Indies.
Yeah, there's more to it, but I haven't got it up here right now, but I will continue. That will be put on the channel. He seems very knowing and he's very knowledgeable in the way he moves. He moves with a dignified pace, I will say. I've never seen him come out of his character, but he does actually keep a low profile. Because he's dealing with things, but he's not saying to the world, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. Hence why I decided to do the live, because he's one of the ones that I cover from Jamaica, and there's others that I cover from Jamaica. And being that he has gone to this place now where him and his wife literally was they actually made them chiefs in the Maroon town because they are seen as the protectors of Maroon town. So in this clip, well, I'm going to put up as well, like, I know it's a lot of clips, but this is the only way I can explain something. Sometimes it's easier for me to do it this way because I'm not on my laptop. So I'm going to put up the clip of them making him a chief. because this is how far from where he was then, just talking to that lady, that girl, to where he is now. It's a whole different level altogether. This means that how he's constantly planning, he's constantly doing something, he's constantly trying to keep the people to which he governs over safe. He takes his chiefhood very seriously. He doesn't really play. And because of his knowledge and where he's come from, being that he's come from universities and stuff like that, which I feel have a little bit to do about with how he moves, it looks like it helps him a lot. And I'm going to show the clip of him getting, becoming as a chief. Him and his wife. There is another guy also that is his consort that also got when they spoke to him, they spoke of his ancestors, and I think there was many readings done while this ceremony was going on. It was quite nice to look at. I wish I was there personally, but it's one of those things where you just think, oh, I wish I was there, because it's nice when you see people representing with the colors, the hair, the the songs and stuff like that. And to me, I feel that's when your your bloodline is really calling, is really doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I feel this is what's happening with this man here. I'm gonna show the clip because I thought it was a very powerful clip. I've watched many things, I've been around many ceremonies and stuff like that, and I love seeing this. You know why? Because it's just telling me that people are trying to connect with each other. It doesn't matter. Right? Peter Tosh always said, no matter where you come from, he was an African. And it's a true thing, because we all connect together in some form or fashion. I mean, I know people are trying to say other stuff and whatever, but to me, you have to look at the linkage, you know what I mean? So, and they give very good explanations to why this has happened as well. And I feel that if I don't talk about it, I won't be a happy woman, you know what I mean? So, being that he is getting, because I did put the video up, people was like saying, oh, he's a Moor and this and that and that and that. See, he explained why the Moors part come into it, where it plays into it. So, to me, right, he is on his own path. Everybody have a path. Some of us are Moors, some of us are something else, some of us are Bantu, some of us are Ashanti, some of us are, there's many tribes. It's not just one tribe. Africa have many tribes, you know what I mean? Right? You don't know who your tribe is sometimes unless an elder tells you who you are or what you are or whatever, and you have to go and consult with an elder. And it's not for you to go and say to yourself, I am this. Yes, I mean, I'm not in almshouse with any of the Aboriginals, but like, you cannot tell other people who they are this wrong. And you have to talk to an elder. Always have to talk to an elder, a chief. They call them soothsayers, whatever's. You have to go to them. They can tell you who your family is. You cannot determine by yourselves. I mean, at one point, the ancestors somehow do make things come to you. Like, sometimes, even if you're not looking, they do actually bring things to you. You know what I mean? Your bloodline do call out to the ancestry line. And I think this is what's happened to Richard, basically. And I can't really say I'm mad at him, to be honest. I can't really say I'm mad at him, because you know what's good about this right now? He's linked to South Africa, which means the hell. Now he's linked to South Africa, because because that means when he goes South Africa now, he'll be seen as one of the chiefs. He'll be able to sit with the chiefs. He'll be able to reason with them now. So to me, there should be nobody has a right to tell you who you are, because like, the slaves was told who they was, called heathens, this, that, and the other and the other. And the reason why I like Jamaican history as well, I mean Trinidadian history is nice as well. It's very similar. Our history paths is very similar because, like, the Spanish came to Trinidad as well. And the fact that he mentioned the conquistadors, which I heard many times on the YouTube streets, and the Tainas, the Amerindians, and everything else, people have to look at this logically, because, like, we don't think of what's going to happen after, or we never have a plan. We never have a plan. We always think about the now. We never think about, okay, what about our children, or whatever. He's paving the way for his children right now. He's forming a legacy. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I can't be mad at him. I can't, honestly. And, when you reason with somebody from your bloodline, it's nice to have that conversation. Africa is an empire, and empires consist of multiple tribes and states, and every time they rule, they always establish themselves as an empire. Exactly. He's also paving a way for other Jamaica. He is. And the big thing, and it's more bigger than Jamaica at this point. He's bigger than Jamaica. But will other people see it? I guess not. Some people's caught up with Mr. Vegas and all this one. Mr. Vegas is just a speck. Richard Currie is doing bigger things. So people need to salute and understand that and give him his props where it's due. You know what I mean? You give a man his props where it's due, because you know what that means? That just will say to another person sitting down in their front room watching what he's doing, okay, I'm going to try and do what I got to do. I got to try and find out myself, or whatever. Not necessarily through genealogy, because like I said, like, if you are not comfortable in a place or around certain peoples, like me, I always, it's funny thing. I have good well, I mean, I've had a bad experience with Nigerians, but I have good experiences with Nigerians and some Africans and stuff. I cannot say that I dislike them. I don't talk about them in a bad way, because they went through a whole lot of things. When you look at Soweto history with the Boers, etc., even over here, the history is mad. When it comes to black people, African people, the ruling forces, they rule over everywhere. They want to take over everywhere. And people's got, like, like I said, I am not the most logical person, I know, but I know from looking at this situation here, the man's taken a big step, and really people need to pay attention to what's going on, and just acknowledge that he is doing big works. He's not giving you cheap identification cards. He's not trying to sell you a dream, right? He is the dream, because that's what he's doing. He's fulfilling a dream, you know? So considering that his start was kind of great-ish, look where he is now. But I'm gonna play the clip. Yeah, globally we have had a hard time. Exactly. Imperial. Yes, exactly. So let me play the clip if I can find it. I just had it just now.
Now the Queen Papa Odwe with is now formally, officially connected, blessed, strengthened, and protected by the ancestors. May no man with body, flesh, try, let's support him.
Both for food crops and for human, as well as animal, everything that you eat will come from here. You will have them. We are blessing this land, and we are blessing this man who is in charge. We are also thanking our gods, praying for those who fought for this land, who gave it the dignity that it has today. Everybody is afraid. If the British people could be afraid of you, what else?
Yeah. You see the colours. Isn't the colours beautiful? Something out of a movie, that. To me, that is something that we all like, in places where honestly, I always said to myself, if I could travel and see certain parts of this globe, whether it's flat earth, whatever, I don't even care. I would be one of the happiest people, because when you see colors like that is something out of a movie, and it's so strange because I've been watching Queen Niger, African Queens, and the Warrior King, and that's, the colors, that's all I can say. He's now a recognized chief of Bantuland or South Africa. So people need to respect a person when they see them. You respect them, because him and his wife, maybe, I think she's his wife. Um, that set up there, that just says to me, there's bigger things going on. The ancestors are actually working in in the favors of the ones who's doing certain stuff. And sometimes, right, when you see one, you have to acknowledge them very well. Acknowledge them, acknowledge their presence. You know what I mean? And I just thought I'd just come up and say this. I mean, I know I did schedule it and all that. I didn't want to just pop up and just, I just wanted to say this because this is a great thing. And I feel others need to project this moment, what Richard Currie is doing, and they need to acknowledge it. Whether you're Pan-African, this one, that one, it don't even matter what doctrine you fall under, right? You need to understand what's going on. Bigger things are at play, and we all gotta try and work together, most possibly. I know I say it. In theory, yes, but then we have the odd ones who's like the Jolly Ranchers, the whatever's, I've seen them, honestly. I just think to myself, wow. Ancestors died for a lot of things. They died, they fought. Blood was run all over the place, literally. Blood running all over. The whole of the globe must have black blood everywhere. I swear. I remember when I used to walk through certain parts of my parts where I live, and I'll be seeing blood on the floor. You literally see blood on the floor. So, like I said, if Richard Currie has come this far, and he's made him, the dignitaries have come to Jamaica, have made him a chief. I salute the chief. I salute him, because I haven't seen anybody else do this. I haven't seen anybody else do this. I see people online talk about treaties and this, that, and the other, and okay, that's fair, and all that, and all that, and all that, and dandy, and blah blah. But have you made a big stand like this, where you formed a a link I mean, I seen the Aboriginal nation because there is a real Aboriginal nation out there. I seen them. I seen them. So I'm not going to say they don't exist. They exist. But when when it's in Jamaica, in the heart of Jamaica, when Nanny fought for help against the British and stuff like that, man, that's when it's bigger than us. It's bigger than this is bigger. This is well way bigger. And I just thought I'll come and say this. Hello. I thought I'll come and say this and I project it to the channel. And the other part of that, I'm gonna put up the two parts to what was said about him before, because it wasn't even bad. It's basically explaining the matrix of Jamaica. That's what's happening there. So, and the food and the land. The land is a lush place. It's a lush. Jamaica's lush, just like the rest of the West Indies. It's very lush countries, from what I've seen. Lots of traditions. There is traditions in Jamaica. Kumina, even the Zion people, they have their tradition. The Zionists over there, and even the Kola di Abeng. There's one person I see who's got an Abeng over here too. I seen it. I seen it. I seen the call done. So I have to respect Maroons where I see them. I was around some Maroons, one Maroon before, a Maroon lady. So when I'm seeing this now, like I said, it's a great, what you call it? It gives me more zeal, to do what I got to do, because like, like you can have chiefs, but you also need workers as well. Everybody want to be a chief, but you have to be workers. So the saying that he is the chief, he needs the workers now. The whole place, right? Everybody has to work accordance, and he looks like he does it very well. So I'm gonna waffle right now, and I don't want to. I don't want to waffle, but yeah, but I mean, I can hear it in my voice, in it. I just made sure I tried to give him a good presentation, because when I saw that bit where they gave him the thing, I was like, wow. Then the consult. There's another consult that's with him. There's another consult. He's on more. That's with him. So I might show his consult. I might not. But yeah, this is good. It's good. It's bigger than us. And as well. And if we acknowledge that, then we're good. It doesn't, like I said, I always use Peter Tosh, and I don't care that people place themselves as Africans or not. I don't care. No matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you is an African. And that's Peter Tosh said that. Peter Tosh sung that song. That song rings out. And here is Richard Currie getting his chiefhood on another level, looking like something out of a movie. Jeez. You see the beauty of the African cloth, the African hairstyle, the African hair, the hat. That's South African, really. That's South African, I think. Yeah, Bantu people is South African, isn't it? Yes, they're South African. I love watching South Africans dance as well, so I ain't gonna lie. So, um, yeah, it's nice. It's just nice. That's all I can say. I definitely found out more about Richard Currie than I knew before. Yeah, he is something else. He is something else. He moves in silence. That's the good thing about him. He moves in silence. You'll just see him pop up on, like you said, on a need to know basis. You don't see his personal life. You don't see all that drama. You don't see none of that. No, he pops up when he needs to. He like if he's got to do a dedicate, if he's got to deal with something, you'll see him. If the other time he went to an indigenous dwelling, I think, and he got acknowledged by the Amerindians of the place. I can't remember where he went. He went somewhere. He went somewhere, and they acknowledged him there too, and they gave him something there too. So he has a lot of blessings. I know that for sure. He's a very blessed person. He's quite exclusive. Yeah, he's very quiet. He's very quiet in his ways. He moves in silence. So I'm not gonna be on here long. I just thought, because I did schedule it, I have to try and keep to certain I have to keep my word sometimes when I'm doing a live. I was supposed to put it on the wall and then tell people, but I always forget. So yeah, so basically I just wanted to talk, well, not to talk about him, but to show him and what's happening with him, basically. So if I do come up, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do a backlog on the Maroons because I think I've done on Amerindians before. I've done on the Amerindians before. I've done on the Amerindians of Trinidad and stuff like that. Because there's Maroons in all over. Maroons is all over the place. They're all over. It's just that Jamaica is more the the homeland of the Maroons more because Nani and Kojo, or Nani's more, should I say? I heard Kojo wasn't very. I heard he wasn't a very respected person, but like a Jamaican can come correct me. That's fine. But Nani, she is the most known Maroon in Jamaica. She she strategized. She used the land as her camouflage. They ate. They did obia. They really, really are a powerful people, and they really stand out. Like sometimes you can tell a Maroon. Sometimes I can tell a Maroon, and sometimes I can't. They stand out. They really stand out. They're very spiritual on a whole nother level. Um, they're very spiritual on a whole nother level. So hi, Marie. So, I'm just saluting Richard Currie. I don't know however else to put it. I'm just gonna play. I don't know which ones to play again, but I'm gonna replay the dignitaries coming over. Hold up, let me show it again.
Please can you tell me, do you promise that you protect your spouse?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna play the other one again. Hold up. The one where he gets the I don't know what that stick means, but he got this stick from the lady. Hold up.
Now the Queen, Chief Papa Odwe, with is now formally, officially connected, blessed, strengthened, and protected by the ancestors. May no man with body, flesh, try, let's support him.
Both for food crops and for human, as well as everything that you eat will come from here. You will have them. We are blessing this land, and we are blessing this man who is in charge. We are also thanking our gods, praying for those who fought for this land, who gave it the dignity that it has today. Everybody is afraid. If the British people could be afraid of you, what else?
Yeah, that's some good stuff. I can't lie, I can watch that over and over and over and over again. Yeah. So they came and they blessed the land. They blessed the land. So hopefully Jamaica will be fruitful after this. Even more fruitful, should I say? Because it's a fruitful land anyway. But it just means peacefulness over there. It's too violent. That's the only problem. But hopefully this will change a lot. A lot. Because it's like the ancestors have returned to the land, in other words. And yeah, I don't want to sound some philosophical person, but this is, to me, is promising. You know what I mean? When you see little things like this promising, and yeah, it's good to see. That's all I can say on this basis. I thought I'd bring it to the channel. People can leave their comments in the comment section. I would say just be respectful, whether you are from the Aboriginal community or not. It doesn't matter how you look at things in your way. People have different paths, different journeys, different pathways. There's something what they call in the ether, where they say there's many paths. There's the deities that lingers. They carry many pathways. They don't just have one pathway for all. There's many paths that you can be, that you can go. And to me, like, some people are meant to be in the continent. Some people are not meant to be in the continent. Some people are meant to be the well, they call themselves Aboriginal Indians. So like I said, only your blood line will tell. Your ancestors is the biggest, the most important people. They call them a gungun. The biggest important ones on the planet, apart from your mum and your dad, obviously. But you are the walking ones, right? You stand on their shoulders, you know what I mean? And you can tell why I'm talking, because, like, where I came from, what path I came from before. We stand on their shoulders. We stand on their shoulders. So, like, what's been going on over here, all that's, who knows, all that might stop. They form the pathway. They're the ones who lead you into whatever you need to be led. Sometimes people call it so-called manifestations. I don't think so, because, like, when you got manifestation, something you got actually put in the works to make it happen. But the ancestors will lead you there. They lead you there. If you have that third eye, whatever, that hearing, and you hear and you're listening, they will tell you what to do, where to go. Not everybody have it. Everybody wants to have it, but they can't. Not everybody. So you have to go to someone to help you on your pathway. And some people are not that way, but this guy, he found his path. He somehow found his path, and he made it come to Jamaica, all the way to Jamaica. Right? So they traveled all the way from South Africa to Jamaica to sit with him and his woman, sit dignitaries. You know, he's moved on to the next level of his life right now. The ball's in his court, even bigger now. He's got bigger things on his shoulders. What they said in that Spider-Man thing, comes great responsibilities. This is what's happening with him right now. He's got a greater responsibility to the people, to the Maroon Town. I gotta say Maroon Center, to the Maroon Town. He is probably gonna make that place even bigger now. Because you know what's going to happen? It's going to come a tourist area. So that's money coming in to that area. Probably some kind of something industrial stuff is going to happen. You never know. I feel the world is his oyster right now. And judging by what I see where he's been going, right, even all those people where he's been traveling to, they might come to him. So, you know, as small as little Jamaica is, little Jamaicans are very great people. I know for a fact. I've been around a whole heap of them. Right? So even though I'm Trinidadian myself, for a little country, they are the most rebellious people going. They rebel. You step on them the wrong way, they will tell you about yourself. Well, Jamaicans do not play. When they're passionate about something, they're passionate. They don't move from that spot. They'll be on that like hard. They are, I would say, because I think they was the first lot to rebel in the slavery. It was either them or another lot, but they rebelled hard. They fought. They fought against it and everything. And I know people say, "Oh, slavery don't exist." Yeah, well, that's your opinion. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna say whatever. I feel like, yeah, he's just made his ancestors return to the land, even though some Jamaicans are Ashanti, really. It's more Ghanaian. Most Jamaica's Ghanaian, really, because when you look at their faces, you can see that they're Ghanaian in their faces. They're Ashanti. But I wouldn't even rule out the South African part neither. You know what I mean? Because everybody was mixed. Yeah, Jamaicans fought for freedom. We mix up, mix up, mix up, mix up. Some of us have how many features you can't tell. People seem to go by so-called fetal types. I don't even look at that. The fetal type sometimes lies to you because it says one thing and it might not be so. So for him to link up with because that's Zulu Nation. Bantu is Zulu Nation, more or less. And I don't mean like African band, the other Zulu Nation. I mean as in Zulu Nation, the ones like Shaka, Zulu, them types there. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I'm not gonna waffle on this one. I'm just gonna leave it right here because I can hear myself waffling. Thank you for coming through, people. For those who's up in the morning or the same timeline as me. Chrissy, Christine, Nagajini. Yeah, Nagajini. Maria R, which I've seen for ages. Yeah, and I put up what you said too. Yeah, they fought for their freedom. They fought for their freedom. Also in England, they didn't care. When the racism was going on over here, Jamaicans banded together and they didn't play with some people over here, okay, back in the day neither. So it all knits into kind of one. It knits into one. So I'm gonna come off. I'm not gonna be on there for long. And I'll see you next live. And yeah, that's all I want to say. Okay, let me play my friend. Well, he's not my. Well, I'm gonna play this guy. Hold up.
I talk from the yard like dog, them a bark and I pass them remark. Their mind and heart full of demon talk, so from them I depart. Hey, all the truth me a talk, some man a talk, bout them a dog heart. Their mind is cold like an iceberg and their teeth is razor sharp. Hey, judging not for the wrongs I've done, neither for the things I talk. My car is a modern day chariot, my guitar is a broken harp. Hey, see them a laugh when me back turn, them a talk about me a skylark until they know what's right from wrong. We're 1,000 miles apart. Hey, I'm living in a concrete jungle, every way so dark, so I'm in tune with nature. Every day I walk the park. Hey, I see the birds on the beach, feel the breeze to the trees. Now hear these talk. My hair is off the branches and my skin is off the bark. Hey, are you in tune with nature when night turns dark? Sometimes I light a candle and feel the vibration from my heart. Hey, I feel this fire burning from my heart as a voice cries out in the wilderness and an angel plays a harp. Many man and woman and I love my song about God kingdom. They always seeking wickedness because them a demon. They will always plan to do something wrong. Them a Satan's son, like a lamb to a slaughter. Send them come. Girl, you have some man that will put you in a temptation. They will promise you things where your man can't give you. Tell them to move on. Man, you have some girl will live a life of confusion, sleeping with so many different men and bring confrontation. I'm an innocent man in a world of temptation, like I was done with the mental slavery. I'm a free man, far away from the moon and sun. There's a place where you call London. It's a part of the earth where I come from, but not where I belong. Hey, big planes pollute the skies and clothe me away from the sun. No matter what they do or try, we shall overcome. Hey, from a faraway land is where we come from, where the air is pure and free. No pollution, where we can taste the water. No contamination, and I'll be there. I will sing my song, I'll sing a load from a faraway land, far away from the sun. There's a part of the earth where I come from, but not where I belong. Freedom in a God kingdom, I know that will be done. God knows I'm a free man. I'm a free man.
Thank you for coming through. Hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye.